should he go series? And we're going to start with in terms of the Atlanta Hawks and some of the big names here each week. I think this could be a fun offseason idea. Because I'm like swatting Clint Capella trade rumors like flies over here, where friend of the pod, Lauren Gunn, asked like what the value is for Hawks, asking Hawks Twitter, like what's Clint Capella's trade value? And I was like, well, it's the blessing of Trae Young. So very high. And because Trae Young has not looked at Clint Capella when finishing an alley-oop in 2.5 years. So the man, there's not anyone on this team that has more in on-court chemistry than Clint Capella and Trae Young. So I have my doubts that as long as Trae's here, that Capella is moving on. That all being said, speaking of Trae Young, I think we have to start here. Garrett, first question here involving Trae, and should he stay or should he go this offseason? What do you think his trade value is around the league? Because the Lakers thing came up, and we were all like, no, I don't. The Lakers have nothing to offer. Like, unless it's Anthony Davis, it's just you hang up the phone because there's just no reason to even engage. That being said, if you told me anything in terms of what Trae Young's trade value is at the moment, I would probably believe you because I have no earthly idea what it would look like right now around the league and with smart teams and how they value him. What do you think his trade value is at the moment?
I'm just going to say this. I think he's untradeable right now just because the Hawks probably have a value for him. And it's likely something that no team is willing to pay right now. Is he worthy of that? Maybe, maybe not. But that's not the point. The point is you've built and leveraged so much in Trae Young right now. He's not going anywhere. Like it would take somebody being like throwing like some desperation heave at him where they're like, yeah, this is the year we got to do this. Like LeBron James comes back and maybe LA does it, which I don't expect that to happen. But they don't have the assets to make it really entertain the idea because they're not giving up Anthony Davis. Like that's not something that they're going to send over because they would want to win a championship next year. And if Anthony Davis isn't there, then that hurts those chances, obviously. So it's not happening really. I just don't see, I give it like a 99.5% chance of him being on the Atlanta Hawks next year. Like it's just because, I mean, you're not going to offer him like 5 first-round picks or something. 3 first-round picks probably won't be enough to get it done. You know? I don't know.
What do you think, Max?
It's just not happening. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's not happening. I have strong reason to believe the Lakers have no interest, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's not. Also, if they had interest, like I don't know, there's no deal there. I just don't. I don't see the urgency with it, and I don't think Quin Snyder sees the urgency with it. Because I do think to like entertain this whole hypothetical question of like what's his value around the league, like that is fascinating because I do think he rehabilitated it a little bit in that Celtics series. A little bit of the Trae mystique was back, and I think under Quin he could have a really nice year that reminds people like, hey. There's so much talk about what he can't do and what he isn't. Like he at his best, he is a one of the most dynamic offensive players in the league. Whether he's at his best enough and whether he lifts other people around him and whether he will ever play even slightly below average defense, like that's all very much in the air. But it's like the Russell Westbrook thing where it got to the point where who called? I think it's Zach Lowe or someone who calls it the 90-10 guys, where like everyone spends so much time on the 10% that he can't do rather than the 90% that he can. And I just don't know what that team is right now that's desperate enough that wants that, because if you trade for Trae Young, you trade for someone who's going to occupy 25-30% usage no matter what. Otherwise, what's the point in trading for him?
Yeah.
It's not a team like the Blazers, who everyone's sort of like they're floating the 3 pick. Yeah. It's not a team like Boston, I don't think, for Jaylen Brown, which I think the Hawks would love.
I was gonna say, would y'all do that? No hesitation, Jaylen for Trae?
No.
Really?
I think I would.
I would do it, no hesitation.
I think I would, but
I don't know. I don't think I would.
I don't think Boston would. Like he's not a Boston type of player. Like, and that's a team that is the team that he would thrive on most, right? All those guys around him would guard. He can come in and be the lead guard. He can defer to Tatum when he should defer to Tatum because Tatum's way better. But it's hard to player like that. You don't just trade a player like that and get full value because it's hard to see him fitting into an already made contender.
I also wouldn't be surprised if if there's one guy around the league who absolutely adores Trae Young and would love to have him in a playoff series, it's Kevin Durant. Like Kevin Durant's definitely the guy around the league who's like Hooper. Like he's like it's like the two different types of basketball fans where it's like that boy nice versus just the set like on the bus. Like I guarantee you Trae Young is a bit like Kevin Durant is all in on the Trae Young experience.
It's funny.
Would you do Devin Booker for Trae Young?
100% in a million years.
Absolutely.
I think Trae Young actually fits a lot better with.
It's funny. Devin Booker's a way better player, though.
Yeah.
It's funny to think that like the Trae Young teams are the Kyrie Irving teams.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like Brooklyn might be the team that if this ever happens, like they can sort of rebuild around him, throw him in New York. He's a Knicks.
Well, we're getting Mikal Bridges back in that trade.
Done. Yeah. Yes. Sign me up. That's why. And they have like a million wings. Like that is the fit that if this ever were to come to pass, I would hope they're interested because that's the package that intrigues me most. But that's a year from now. It's not now.
Yeah. In a perfect world, we end up with, I think this team is going to look a lot different next year. And if I think they need more wings. I really just at the end of it, like you said, he needs them because they need to hide him a little bit more on defense. I think his effort level improved significantly under Quin Snyder. He's still not going to be he still wasn't a below average even defender, but he was less putrid, I guess, because
what about Houston for Jalen Green?
No.
I don't think so either.
I'm just going to say, like, they're not going to trade him. I'd be very surprised if they do it.
Trae Young and Capella for Gobert and Conley.
No. What are you on?
No, I'm not doing it. No, I think Quin Snyder and Trae Young are going to get a year together. They absolutely are. I think Quin Snyder wants to see what he can do. He's the best playmaker Quin Snyder's ever had. So, I mean, he's probably one of the best playmakers in the NBA. Like, just as far as all-around offensive game is concerned. And, like, he was on that, what is this, his podcast or somebody else's podcast? He was doing some podcast thing. And he's talking about how he's like, Quin Snyder and him are working on him just, quote, jacking up more threes or whatever. Which I don't know how I feel about necessarily, but
I would just like more to go in.
That's somebody who could
That'd be
get
cool.
his shot. Because if Trae Young can get his shot up to 40%,
I mean, that'd be great. I would just take league average.
38%.
Yeah, I'd take that too.
I
don't know if he'll ever be a 40% guy.
No, I think that ship has sailed. Maybe in his late stage, I could see like 35-year-old Trae Young who comes in off the bench and his only spot up three guy is averaging like.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't see 35-year-old Trae Young.
I can't either.
No.
Period. What is his role in the NBA if like he sort of loses? Yeah, whatever. I mean, he's 20. What, 23, 24?
He's Jarrett Jack. Based on what we saw with Dejounte Murray last year and Trae Young when they were on the floor together, how did he and Dejounte work? Did you see enough that